you're completely new to Amazon Wholesale and have no idea where to start, this video is going to break down everything that you need to get started in the first 6 months. No 10k a month profit rubbish, no fluff, literally everything you need to start and run this business from, well, now to month 6. So without further ado, let's get started and into the screen share. So first things first, the business model, okay? Now, this is very, very, very important. What Amazon Wholesale actually is and why it's different from every other model, okay? Because obviously there's different models that you can undergo when it comes to selling on Amazon, okay? So let's give you a short breakdown for those of you who've never sold anything online before. So now what does this model consist of? Okay, Amazon Wholesale is a business of buying real branded stock at wholesale prices, sending them into Amazon and letting Amazon do the selling, shipping and customer service for you. You're not inventing anything. You're not hunting clearance aisles. You are an authorized reseller of products customers are already buying. The stock that you will be selling is already selling on the Amazon platform. It's already doing thousands a month in revenue. You are buying them from wholesalers, from distributors, and from the brands directly, like we've got here, at wholesale prices, sending that stock into Amazon, and Amazon does the rest, okay? You're not creating new products, you're not registering trademarks or anything, you're not inventing anything. Neither are you going to Tesco, looking for discounted stock and selling it on Amazon, no. We are authorized suppliers of the stock that we're gonna be selling on Amazon, okay? Stock that's already selling. That's where we plug into this market. So, as you can see here, first you need to source the stock, whether that be from an authorized distributor in the UK or abroad, or whether that be from the brand directly, again, in the UK or abroad. Then we obviously purchase it ourselves, send it into Amazon. Stock is shipped directly into Amazon's warehouse. Obviously, prep needs to take place, whether that be yourself at home, again, we're gonna cover this, or whether that be our prep facility. Amazon does the selling, right? The stock's already selling, okay? So Amazon stores the stock that you send in, they pack, ship, and handle returns for you. So when someone orders your stock from Amazon, Amazon will pick it from in their warehouse. They'll also, obviously they'll store it, and then they'll ship it to the customer that's placed the order on the Amazon website. And they will also handle the returns for you, the whole returns process for you. Now the last step in this is get paid. Profit lands in your account every 2 weeks. Obviously you're buying stock from these authorized distributors, authorized brands that trade pricing, so a lower price. And then you're selling it on Amazon to the end customer at a higher price, okay? And you're taking the profit in between. 3 ways to sell on Amazon, okay? And only one is really built for you beginners if you want to do this properly, right? If you want to actually build this into a business when it comes to starting, right? Private label. Now, when it comes to starting with private label and creating your own brand is probably not the wisest thing to do unless you're set on it, right? The reason being for that is there's a higher barrier to entry for it. You need between 5 and 15k to start. It's longer to launch, right? 3 to 6 months till first sale. You've got to sample your private label stock. Well, obviously this is when you're creating your own brands, creating your own products. You got to sample it. You got to find the manufacturers for it. You got to make sure product quality is fine. You've got to understand the market you're getting into, right? So first of all, you need more capital. Second of all, it's much longer first sale. Third of all, heavy ad spend required. You don't even know if the stock's going to sell, right? There's no data there for your actual brand that you're creating that your brand's going to sell, right? And the majority fail in year 1, okay? When they work, right? Let's just say that. But when it doesn't work, which is very, very possible, it's very difficult. Well, essentially, if you're starting, you don't want to start on Amazon investing 5 to 15k and losing it all. Let's just say that, or being sat with stock that you cannot shift. Okay, so yes, private label is a great business model, and I'm not here slandering this, but as a beginner, it probably isn't the starting point for most people when it comes to first selling online. Okay, Arbitrage, buy low, resell higher. This is going into your clearance aisles in Tesco and Boots, finding stock online, again, at clearance. Again, low startup cost, so this is a bit more beginner friendly. Constantly hunting deals. Okay, now if you want to build a business, you don't really want to be constantly hunting deals and have no repeatability. Okay, that makes scaling much more challenging. Okay, and your margins get squeezed. Obviously, when you're doing arbitrage, you're buying lower barrier to entry stock that everyone can access. Now, with that means that there's going to be more competition, which means your margins get squeezed. That's a given, right? Arbitrage does work, so does private label. However, for a beginner, right, private label, we've already discussed why that's very challenging for a beginner to get into. Arbitrage, if you want to build a business, it's not, it more so suits you if you're trying to use Amazon FBA as a vehicle, as a side hustle, right? Whereby you're just flipping stock here and there. Flipping stock, getting the profits in. That's great, arbitrage works for that. But now let's go onto wholesale and why I think it's a great business model for beginners. Well, 2 to 5K realistic starting point. Now, when you actually consider the landscape of businesses, between 2 and 5K is a low amount, okay, when it comes to starting a business and being in profits. Most businesses are not in profitability in year one, right? With wholesale, it's very, very achievable if you understand what you're doing. Sell in week 1 or 2. Once you understand the business, you understand what's going on, it's very, very, I shouldn't say easy, but it's very, very hard not to sell stock, right? Because the demand is already proven. You're listing and selling stock, which is already moving, and it's repeatable and scalable. We're going to go a bit more into that as we go on, but it's just a case of once you've got your supplies in place, it's just a case of scaling from there, repeating the same steps again and again. It's nothing crazy, very beginner friendly to scale the business. Okay, very, very achievable starting point in terms of capital. Sell within week 1 or 2. Okay, very beginner friendly that is. You can already have money coming back into your account, profits landing back into your account within a month of actually understanding the business, right? Demand's already proven, the data's already there, right? It's a data-driven business and it's repeatable and scalable. So what makes this very, very advantageous for beginners, okay? And why does this model actually work when you're starting from complete scratch, right? And now what I want to go through is the 4 structural reasons why wholesale is the most forgiving model for a first-time seller, okay? First of all, you're selling real brands. You're not inventing a product like you are with private label. We're not guessing, we're not hedging our bets whether or not the stock's even going to sell. The demand's already there. Your job is simply to get the product in front of more buyers. It's as simple as that. How can we do that? Well, there's many ways in which we can do that. Getting a good repricer, buying at the right price so we have more maneuverability in pricing. But that stuff's a bit too complex, obviously, to speak about that now. But basically, we're selling real brands that already have customers, right? If you're launching your own brand, you don't have customers, you have to acquire customers. It's the power of Amazon and the power of wholesale. The demand's already there. People already want the stock which you're stocking on the fastest moving online marketplace in the UK. It's a blessing, right? Our job, like I got there, is simply just getting the product in front of the buyers, right? Listing it on Amazon. First selling days, not months, right? Amazon listing already exists. Customers are already searching for the products. You just simply add your offer and it will sell, okay? As long as you're pricing properly, there's no need to build a brand for 6 months. No need for that. The sales, once stock lands and becomes FBA available and eligible for next day shipping, the stock will sell. Amazon does all the heavy lifting. You ship the stock to Amazon. By that I mean you, by the way. You ship the stock to Amazon. Amazon stores the stock, packs the stock, ships the stock, handles returns. You do not touch the product, right? Like, you ship to a prep center. The prep center will ship to Amazon. You do not need to touch the product. You can run this entire operation from your laptop. Okay? You ship to a prep center ships to Amazon does all the pick, packing and shipping to the end customer. You do not have to touch the product, right? You can run this whole business from your laptop when done correctly. This is the beauty of wholesale. You can scale it without real complexity. Nothing crazy needs to happen to scale a wholesale business. It's just a case of repeating, right? It's repeatability. One supplier can become 5 can become 20. The process stays the same. All you're doing is adding SKUs, and then the profit compounds, and the actual operations involved in the business barely move. It's just repeating the same thing again and again to actually scale the business. Okay, which is amazing when you actually think of it. Most businesses, there's a lot of drastic change which needs to happen in order to scale. With Amazon Wholesale, it's just repeating, right? So how are we setting up in the UK? What do you actually need to start in the UK? Let's have a look. 6 practical things you need to start, not you need my £2,000 course. My course isn't £2,000, by the way, and it's not just a course. So, the starter pack, right? You need to register a limited company. You can do that in under an hour. Start as limited from day one. That's what I recommend to everyone I work with and everyone I help, because it protects you personally, right? And you look professional to the suppliers and the wholesalers and the brands that you want to work with. Okay, and it saves you restructuring and doing all that faffing about later and paying more. Okay, so you've got a limited company in place. Business bank account, again, not complicated. Keep your Amazon money and your business money separate from your personal money. Okay, some ones that you can use are Tide, Starling, Monzo Business, and you can open one of these online in under 10 minutes. Okay, nothing complicated. An Amazon Seller Central professional plan. Okay, it's required for wholesale. If you're going to treat it like you're running this as a business, you're going to need a professional plan. Starting capital for stock. Now, the realistic minimum to actually make money when it comes to doing wholesale, okay, is 2 to 5k. Because below this figure, you're going to struggle. Okay, Amazon payouts will strangle you. You got the cash flow side of things, which will strangle you as well. And with the margins which you're going into wholesale with, 2 to 5k is the best bet, right? The more you have, the better, right? The quicker you can scale, the easier on cash flow it will be, the more negotiating power you will have. But essentially, the more you have, the better. But 2 to 5k is a good starting point. Prep service or home setup. Now, when it comes to wholesale, you're going to be in a prep center very, very quickly. Let's just say that, because you're going to be buying stock in bulk. It's not the most efficient thing in the world to be prepping it yourself. You want to be focusing on the highest ROI tasks, which is not going to be sitting there labeling stock for you. Okay, it's going to be getting on the phone with suppliers, developing relationships. Now, prep center labels your stock, ships your stock to Amazon, so you can literally run this business from your laptop. You order stock from a supplier straight to your prep center. Your prep center will prep it so it's Amazon compliant, and then send it to Amazon for you, and then the sales will start to come in. All without you touching the stock. Okay, now from roughly 50p per unit, and it's massively worth it as a beginner. Okay, the more stock you send in, the cheaper down, while the cheaper you can get that 50p per unit cost. Very, very simple. And please don't forget, obviously, once it gets to 90k turnover per year, or per 12 months trailing, you need to get VAT registered, okay? Obviously, you don't need that from day one, but just plan for it once you're at 90k turnover. And when you do get VAT registered, you do obviously have a change in margins and cash flow. So you need to adjust slightly the suppliers that you're buying from, the pricing that you're buying at, and just reevaluate your margins and also your pricing strategy as well, and alter your reprices. Now, what's the whole process of this, right? From nothing to your first sale in 5 steps. Again, this is a repeatable loop. Run it once, you can run it 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 times. The shape don't change, and this is how you're going to scale and build this business, okay? Find profitable products, okay? Use tools like Keeper, SellerAmp to identify products that already sell well. We're looking for consistent sales, stable pricing, and room for margin after Amazon fees. Now, if you want to get more complicated as well, you can look for the opposite of this: inconsistent sales rank, inconsistent pricing, and an absolute mess, and then offer value propositions to brands and suppliers to work with you to fix these issues going wrong. But all that stuff is very, very high level, and I'll only recommend doing that if you understand this business to a high level, but not as a beginner. If you try and do that as a beginner, it's not going to work, right? You need to understand what you're actually doing. This is the best way to start as a beginner. Contact the brand or distributor, email them or call them directly. I recommend phone calls, right? And make it very, very clear, you're not a random buyer, okay? Yes, you're an Amazon seller, but you're an Amazon seller offering to help them sell more of their stock and purchase consistently from them, right? You're actually positioning as a valuable customer, a valuable trade customer of theirs. And alongside that, you're asking for a wholesale account. Yes, we have access to the biggest online retailer in the UK. We're not just going to fling your stock on Amazon. We want to be valuable to you. We can sell your stock via Amazon consistently in volume over the long term. You can provide projections, you can provide additional ways you can offer them value, but like I said, that stuff's a bit more complicated. And that's the things I help people with when they work with me one-to-one. Place your first order. One thing I highly recommend is start small. Don't go in, if you have £5,000, don't spend all that £5,000 on one ASIN, right? One product. Spread your SKU count, spread your risk. That's very, very important when it comes to starting this business. I know way too many people who start, they'll see a listing doing 20, 30, 40, 50, £100,000 a month in revenue and spend 10 grand on stock, send it in, and it doesn't go to plan because they made a simple mistake, let's say in analysis. Especially when you're a beginner, start small, spread your risk, learn the ropes. You're gonna make mistakes in every new business anyone starts. Mistakes are made, okay? And it's better to make the mistake with less capital involved, right? As time goes on, you will trust yourself more, you'll understand to a high level what you are doing, and then you may be able to spend 5, 10 grand on one ASIN, right? But at the start, most definitely don't. Prove the model of real data before scaling, okay? Very, very, very simple to understand that. Please don't get carried away. Ship stock to your prep service. Okay, obviously once you've found the stock, found the products from your suppliers, brands, distributors, you place these orders, ship the stock to your prep service. So first we find the profitable products using our softwares. Then you contact the brand or distributor, not in a simple way, but in a way whereby you can actually offer them value with value propositions involved. Then we want to place your first order from your supplier, brand, distributor. Don't go all in, you spend all your capital on one product, spread your SKU count. And obviously you're gonna send that stock into Amazon. Right? Match the buy box price, don't undercut, please, just listen to me. Match the buy box price and get a good repricer to match the buy box price as well. And obviously with that, the preps company, the prep center that you use will ship the stock from Amazon for you, and you never lift a box, right? You're not sat in a cold warehouse, you're not labeling stock, you are actively doing step 1 and 2 and 3. While the rest of it is handled and outsourced by, let's say, a prep company receiving the stock, checking for discrepancies, shipping that stock into Amazon, right? Which is a great thing about this business. Like I said, you can run it from your laptop when it's done correctly. Reinvest profits and add suppliers. That's it, right? Sales begin, money starts rolling in, the profit starts coming in, money lands in your account every 2 weeks. Reinvest 100% into stock and new suppliers. That's where your money compounds. That's when, okay, 2 grand profit months, very easily becomes 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 7.5, 10. It compounds if you keep the cash in the business and just keep repeating these steps. Okay, very, very simple to understand. The process remains the same. You just keep doing it, adding suppliers, adding to the products that you are buying, and the business compounds very simply, right, and very efficiently. It's not rocket science. It's literally just doing this again and again and again. That's how you want to start as a beginner. When it actually comes to, yes, you want 5, 10, 8 grand profit a month, you have to start to approach the business to a slightly more higher level, which I can help you with. Okay, so now, but first, let's go through the honest numbers of what this actually looks like. Well, the first 6 months actually look like. No, you're not gonna get 10 grand in your first month. Right, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, okay? Now, month 1, £0, right? accounts open, first product sourced, first order placed, £0 in profit yet. This is the groundwork. We're building the foundations, right? You need to find the profitable stock, right? You're not just going to make profits in month 1. Foundations need to be built. Month 2 to 3, stock lands, sales begin, profit starts rolling in, 500 quid profit, test what works, kill what doesn't. So of this, let's say, stock that goes in, some things aren't going to work, some things are. The stuff that does work, double down. The stuff that doesn't, kill. Do not replenish, for example. Months 4 to 6, this is where things start to compound, right? And it starts to feel like a business. Multiple suppliers, you start adding to your suppliers, right? You're adding to your suppliers while you are purchasing stock from your current suppliers and new suppliers. So it starts to get exponential. Yes, we have current suppliers we're buying from, which are which are bringing in profits for us month on month. But at the same time, we are adding to these suppliers and adding to the profitable products. And that's increasing the predictable profits which are coming to our business. This is when it stops feeling like a gamble and starts feeling like a real business, right? Now, a quick note I want to say, wholesale is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a real business, but it's also the most realistic path I know to replacing a 9-to-5 income within 12 to 18 months. If you treat it like a business from day one, if you know what you are doing, you take it serious, you don't just go in and work, or let's say, try and fling stock from your wholesalers, your brands directly. No, you go in to try and partner with them as a business. It's very, very achievable to hit your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand profit months if you have the capital as well, right? It's just this. Months 4 to 6, multiple suppliers, predictable profits, and this is when it stops feeling like a gamble, starts feeling like a business. This is when your suppliers are offering you profitable stock, and every supplier that you add on just adds to the monthly profits as well. So what now? So you watch through this video, okay? And the shortest distance between here and your first supplier, right? Building alone is slow, building with a plan is fast. Okay, very, very, very easy to understand. Now, if you want my help, I run one-to-one coaching for beginners who want to skip 6 months of trial and error. And me putting 6 months there is very conservative. Most of the people I work with one-to-one now have been trying to do wholesale for 2 years, right? 1-2 years. And they've been doing trial and error for 1-2 years. Now imagine how much time, not only time, but money that's cost them, where within the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months of working with me, they've tied down deals that will make more profits than any deals that they've tied down in the previous 2 years. For example, one of my clients has just tied down a deal that's going to make him £3,000 in profits every single month. Some more of my clients have tied down deals that's going to make them upwards of 15 grand profit a month. Like I said, if we work together one-to-one, I'll save you so much time and make you so much more money. And that's not a guarantee, by the way. If you have to work hard as well, right? I'm not going to do everything for you. We work together. We plan your setup, find your first suppliers, and get your first products live, okay? And this is specifically built around your capital, your time, and your goals. It's worked around you. That's why it's one-to-one, okay? First of all, how can we work together, okay? And how can you apply to work with me? Book a free call in, 30 minutes, no pitch, not a sales call. It's going to be an honest read on whether wholesale actually fits your situation. I will tell you straight up whether or not to start wholesale as a business. Because at the end of the day, if you're working with me, I need you to get results, okay? I don't care about, let's say, trying to work with as many people as possible. I actively reject people pretty much every other day. I need you to get results if you work with me one-to-one, because I need the testimonial. I need you to win. If you work with me, and everyone that does work with me, I need you to win, right? Receive a plan, okay? On this call, we'll map out your first 90 days. And we'll build that around your capital, the suppliers which you want to target, the products that you can acquire, and give you a realistic timeline, okay? And then we decide from there. If it's a fit, we'll discuss one-to-one coaching. If not, you leave with a free plan anyway. My whole goal here is to help you regardless, right? So, how can you book in a call? I'll put a link in the description for you to apply to work with me one-to-one, but it's not just that, okay? We will just go through your situation. Is wholesale even right for you? and then provide a plan for you on how you can actually start and get this business up and running. And then, if you want, we'll see if it's a good fit for you to work with me, which you'll have to apply for, because I don't work with everyone. Because like I said, I need you to win. So I don't work with everyone. I work with people I believe have the drive, have the work ethic, have the right capital, the right mindset to win. Because if you work with me one-to-one, I need you to win. So to book in that call, click the link in the description, and I'll catch you hopefully on a call to help you out. Any more videos that you want to see, drop them in the comments. If you like the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you in the next video.